Hello, hello. Good morning, good morning. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Daily is coming down here. Most likely gonna be looking at sells. I can already see because this is just the same old daily structure that we have. A lot of trickling. Hopefully this week we can still keep up the good momentum that we have, which is like Monday has been pretty decent price action on New York session, London session as well. So let's hope that we can keep that up, because there's a potential we're gonna have some speed bumps over here. You know, it's like, like if you're gonna be an airline pilot, and the pilot gonna have some kind of anticipation of cloudy weather and all that stuff, and I think that's what we can possibly have this week, like a turbulent type of flight. But man, so far so good. So far so good. I don't like the looks of the way the London right now looks though, because I can see the wicks are starting to build up already. A little bit of accumulation here on the 1 minute as well, so hopefully we can break out of this, because the daily is down 0.67%. It's showing us some kind of direction, potentially to the downside. Look, it's breaking already. It's most likely going to try and distribute at this point here. Let's see. Let's see how it pays these traders here. There's actually a sell set up right now. Let's see where we're heading towards though. 15, 30 minute. Yeah, it's clean range down towards support over there. By 47.74. Looking at about like 160 pip move. It would be nice to see it kind of break out, It's getting ready for a move. It's about to literally break out here. It would be nice to see it break out because we want to see direction. Oh my days, look at this here. So today is overall the sellers in charge. Sellers overall are in control of the market. Oh man, we're actually seeing a lot of seller aggression today. So I'm actually surprised this is not pushing down like extremely aggressive at this point. This should be pushing down aggressively. Hey, tall trader. Nice to see you guys back in here. Architect. What's good? What's good? I already got a faked out there. How's let me see what happened here. Could you have gotten out a break even possibly? Because look at this. Pushed around how many pips? Yeah, just towards like break even, 16. Oh, you must have been looking for 20. No, yeah, 16. 16 would have been it right there at least. So if you're scalping, sometimes when I'm just scalping, I'm just getting out here at like 16. If I'm not scalping, then I'm gonna most of the time, look for a break even there. If I'm looking for 20, that window between 16 and 20 is it's quite a pesky thing, It's something that we've been dealing with, I guess, for most of this year. Here on futures, it did about 20 though on futures. So you want to go off the measurements on ideally the measurements on TradingView, right? Because that's how you're gonna have like a consistent like understanding of when you should be doing these things. Don't go off base your main entry. Because that's going to shift from time to time, you know, slippages and whatnot. But you see, when you backtest, it's going to be backtesting off of like the ideal condition. So what happened here? You lost yesterday 12,000 pounds. Man, you must be rich to lose 12,000 pounds. Crazy. Crazy. How did that happen? Please enlighten us. We actually would love to know the story. What were you trading? What happened? What emotions came in the way? Because that's a huge amount of tuition fees, you know? So we gotta see like what the lesson here is. That, you know, some of us are gonna learn from it. We gotta learn from it. Alright, NASDAQ. Choppy City came. Oh, NQ? Oh, let's see. NQ, damn. Oh, NQ also had the market open gap here yesterday. Look at that. I actually ended up feeling it too. Expect for the last 1 minute, or except for the last 1 minute, the literal last 1 minute though. Oh, so it was ranging the whole day until the account was blown, and then it stopped ranging. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's gonna feel like that, man. You can't make this up, huh? You literally can't make this up, bro. You cannot make this. That's what I always say. When we do, like, whenever we have our simulations and then we have these reactions and everything, I'm like, bro, you cannot make this stuff up. Or like when, you know, ranges get filled or like something happens consistently. See, the market is very, very intentional about the way it does things. It hits people in different ways. You can't make this up. But look at this. You see, yesterday we had like a gap fill trade here. Like 70% of the gaps get filled. Look at that. This would have been a nice buy position. This is basically what we took yesterday on gold. But this was the NQ position over here instead. It was like that shotgun play, right? That we took on gold. Then the idea was that price is going to fill this range. And you see on NQ. Price came and it filled the range. Pretty nice bomber cloud trade. And then look at this. Look what happened here. You can't make this up. You see what I mean? You can't make this up. Look at what happened here again. Retest of high value area. And then back up for a skyrocket. It just needed to come to, you know, do what the market does best, is just to quickly remove people here before the move up. You see this? This is not just accident. This is an area where a lot of people are getting in. This is a shotgun play. Came in, retest, and then skyrocket. Then most people are gonna complain. But that's just the way, you know, that the market is. I think we got a video on this as well on the channel. One of the videos where we're talking about, I think, psychological and physical support resistance. So it's just about understanding at the end of the day. If you understand, you're going to be able to manage your emotions, stay consistent, even through the good clusters and the bad clusters of trades. Stay open. But yeah, some days can be quite difficult when you lead to like over trading. What you got to do is you have to have a cap, right? So your cap is 2%. That's the cap. But we're human. We're going to make mistakes. I understand that. A lot of us won't stop at that mark, but at least have it there. So the real cap should be around maybe, you know, 3.5 to 4%. Or maybe 3 to 4%. We can say 3 to 4%. But this is just like on the worst case scenario where, you know, you find yourself in like in a predicament. you lose control somewhat. That should be the maximum loss, at least like 4% max. Sometimes it extends to 4.5%. I understand this as well, but it should be within that range, 4 to 4.5%. Max. Like nothing beyond. Like, bro, if you're losing to that point, man, just call it a day. Just call it a day, because to get to even that amount of losses, you know, you're gonna take quite a few trades. Ideally, right? Ideally, risking 1 to 2% per trade and managing risk. It's gonna take a while. So don't make it easy for the market to take your money. You should make it difficult, man. Like, the market makes it difficult for you. Think about all the times your take profit almost got hit, and then it reversed on you. All the times your break even got hit, all of these things. Man, you should make it difficult for the market as well. Don't make it easy for it. Don't donate your money, you know. Just, if you're gonna have like a bad trade, man, cut that trade. And when you're gonna have a good trade, it's gonna be a good trade. Like, look at this. Look at this breakout over here. We could have taken this breakout here. Look at this. Look at how it broke above here and it moved like 16 pips and then it kept going up. What could you have even done in this situation? Like we did on the Friday trade, 5 pips stop loss we did. We said we're not risking any more than 5 pips. Because we understand that even like our good trades are gonna move like somewhat like this, right? So you must just stay patient and then manage your risk until you know, the good times. That's what we're gonna do here today. We're gonna manage our risk until the good times. I think Ricardo caught it. Salud. There we go. Manage risk and emotions. That's it. Traders are more of like, you know, accountants. We're supposed to account for things like risk, emotions, and then the money will come later. That's literally our job, is risk managers. That's a real title of the job, is to manage risk. You know, like when you even go and work, like let's say at a hedge fund, you know, the whole idea, okay, a hedge fund, you're going to make the client money. Awesome. But the number one thing they got to do is they got to not lose the client's money, right? Because not losing the client's money also allows the institution to stay liquid, right? So our main job is to keep facilitating the flow of funds, right? And the only way we're going to do that is by managing risk. And you know, every now and then, the market gives us a bomber clot. Bomber clot! Right? We position ourselves in a way, most likely we can get it, of course, but we got to allow it to happen naturally. Until then, we got to manage risk. It's like the day on Monday that I was trying to look for my runner. It literally took like 5 trades to get that runner. Remember? It took like 5 trades. But up until that point, we're managing to lose less. Yeah, but right now, we would have liked to see gold move down. I don't know why it did this kind of whip. So we had a small whip here. See, it just took out the lows, pulling up again. Tiny whip. A little accumulation still overall as we're sitting over here, and then, you know, it's going to start moving soon. So it looks like that play on the 1 minute actually just had the liquidity grab confluence for the breakout above, which is pretty nice confluence, right? For me personally, I think this would have been like, I don't know how it broke, but I think it broke gradually. I saw it hanging around there for a while. And then possibly I secured something here. That was about like 20 pips. Worst case scenario, break even. And then in that situation, that's break even. Then at least we have the liquidity grab confluence, and we got to monitor. Got to monitor like how it's going to look like coming up over here. I was on looking at the order flow as well at the time, but I see that the buyers are in aggressively right now. We got about like 1.1 million. 1.4 million now. Buy aggression is pretty high. We're just flirting with previous day value area low, previous day point of control. We got like a bunch of these lines here, and usually they don't really hold that much value because we're just gonna be trading through like this. It's kind of like choppy through it, so I wouldn't pay too much attention to these. Only really good thing is like when they're spread out, like previous day value area high at 48.35 could be a target for buys. Now 48.34, which is here. Yeah, right here. That could be the target for buys potentially. It's about like maybe 300 pips away, 295. But you see, it's been kind of like trickly to the downside so far. It's kind of low gas. Maybe you're gonna think of it like low gas. But it's still decent. Like, look at this breakout here. Pretty nice breakout. Boom, about like 83 pips. See another small little breakout over here. Kind of choppy on this one. Yeah, at least it's moving somewhat, right? At least it's moving somewhat. And not sideways. Not sideways with too many wicks. But yeah, better, but you just tilt. Yeah, tilt's quite normal. I was watching a bit of poker over the weekend, just on like a random TV channel, and yeah, I mean, the way that the commentator was like, you know, commentating the game, I wasn't like fully paying attention, but it happens these poker players, they give away signs sometimes, like then the commentator mentions that they give away like some kind of like a sign, or you know, they're gonna easily tilt. So tilt is quite a normal thing. You know, if you find yourself tilting a lot, I think it's something that you're gonna work with over time. Yeah, you're just gonna reduce the amount of tilt. You can't reduce 100% because you know you're human at the end of the day, unless you're like, what's that girl's name in Billions? That girl who Axelrod took under his wing. Damn, I forgot her name. But she's borderline robotic. She's really good at what she does, but not a lot of people are going to be able to do that. What was her name again? I forgot. But that's why I say for me, 90%, I need to have psychology in a month. 90%. I'll allow myself maybe like four mistakes. But that's why I gave that rule of thumb to maximize the drawdown to at least maybe like 4%. Will be like the complete limit, right? 4%. The bald one, yes, the bald one. Casey, Tracy, what is her name? Totally forgot. Yeah, she's pretty good at this. But you know, like, yeah, we just gotta wait. I think that's the thing. We just gotta get good at waiting, right? Usually it's between that period for waiting is where most of that emotion and lack of control gonna come in, like when you're tired of waiting. So you just gotta get good at waiting. That's the number one thing. Like, as a trader, we're risk managers, and all we do is wait. Manage our risk and wait. Manage our risk and wait. That's it. That's what you gotta think of it. Don't try to dig yourself out of a hole, because if you watch that movie, The Rogue Trader, I think it's from like 1970 or 80 or something like that. The thing is, like, the guy brought down the whole bank because he was trying to bring himself out of a hole. So, you know, the one thing is, don't put yourself in the hole in the first place, because then that's when it gets like a lot more difficult. So, man, you got like a fresh day here today, everybody. You got 24 hours. You got a fresh day to focus on just one good trade this session, and then maybe another good trade another session. And this is more important for a lot of people trying to find consistency, is to avoid like taking back-to-back trades. Just try one a session. London, pre-London, London, New York, NYSE. Just give it a go. Give it a go for a week, man. You're gonna see your cortisol levels are gonna drop. Your hair is gonna start coming back. Man, you're gonna have a lot of positive side effects once you gotta start doing like, you know, one trade a session. And then know when to call it a day. We're gonna call it a day. Call it a day maybe after like, you know, maybe 1%, 2%. You know, just be like that fisherman who's okay with catching 1 to 2 fish and going home to his family, right? You're gonna see end of the day, man, you're gonna be chilling. You're gonna be like those coastal people, how they're always chilling. Because it's very easy for things to get out of hand very fast in this game. You would be surprised how fast a good day gonna turn sour because of greed. This is a little kind of like a play coming down over here. Got around, what's this, like about 40, 42 pips. But there's it looks good, like as if it was gonna be a 5-minute play, but there's just no setup yet. But it has like pretty nice range over there. Because you see, the whole idea here is, look at this. The whole idea here is that price gonna break above here. That's a TFX entry. And then it's coming to retest. Look, don't be surprised if you see it start pulling up from here. It's gonna retest the entry. See if there's any more buyers. Because remember, sometimes like when a move like this happens, it could be because there's multiple people buying on the way up. Or it could have just been one big order that came in. One big order that came in, then the market needs to sort of like cover that imbalance. You see this? Can't make this shit up, right? Regen. Oh, wait, no, not regen. There's someone else here. In the chat. Nicolay. Can't make this shit up, bro. There's no such thing as liquidity grab, brother. Vic, I tell you, yeah. Then what is this? Down here. I found that cutting my typical lot in half. Oh, and adding that extra to SL has helped me. I promise you, it's not liquidity grab. What is it then? You know, because one time, you know what I saw? One time I saw here on the order flow. Oh, this was about maybe I would say 3 weeks ago on a Friday. It was the day that I did not stream. And I was watching price during the New York session and price was rallying bullish. And there was this sharp move to the downside. It went sharp. And I was like, whoa, what was that? You know, because it left like a wick over there. It just looked unnatural. Like, why is there like a big wick now and then it's still moving back up? And then I investigated with the order flow here on the 1 minute time frame. And guess what? That wick did not even exist. There was nothing traded there. So how are you going to explain that as well? Liquidity grabs happen and you're going to see it because the wicks are always going to look a little bit out of place, usually at those key areas. That's what gives it away. And like, you know, well, why do certain confirmations going to happen and then like opposite confirmations play out? I mean, you could like look at it in the terms of, okay, fine, the boogeyman does not exist. It was coming to fill some orders in, right? But even as I mentioned, even on the order flow, we didn't see that day. I did not even see any orders there or anything of the sort. Like, there was just no wick. There was nothing. So manipulation does happen. It exists. It exists because human nature, we're going to always have corruption, yeah? And the market is just a form, a representation of human thinking. Corruption is always going to exist. Watch The Big Short if you don't believe me. The guy, Michael Burry, who predicted the real estate bubble crash and how basically it took so long for it to crash. He almost blew his accounts because of the manipulation on the larger scale. So you're going to see it happens. Even in reality, it happens with the government, and it also happens down to the police officer or the guy who gives you an extra parking somewhere. So I think the moment you're going to start thinking about trading in terms of human psychology, going to become like a lot more understandable. You know, they say you got to understand these two things for a man in life is women and money. Yeah. And then your life is going to be pretty easy or pretty straightforward. If you truly understand how it operates. Right? Not how we wish it to operate. That illusion of how it operates. But anyway, we're gonna wait over here and then see if price is gonna break above 4806. And if it breaks above 4806, we're gonna see like this range here potentially get filled. Probably like a 58 pip range. One to two or 1-to-1, which is better for a trade? Trying to be consistently profitable. Secure a 1-to-1. That's what you need to do. Forget about this whole loser thing of, oh, you're gonna lose like 90% of the time, but if you hit this one to 10, you're gonna be profitable. No, man, you gotta secure something. You always gotta secure something. You'll find it so difficult to go off those other metrics. Secure something, you know, you gotta like look at a 1-to-1, especially because look, if you're gonna still be learning, the way when you secure something, it gives you a buffer in your account, and it at least keeps you a little bit more motivated to keep learning, right? Like you gotta end the day profitable. You're part of the, let's say 10% of people are gonna end the day profitable. You know, you gotta feel good. You stick to like 1 or 2 trades a day. Sometimes you hit like 2 trades. You're gonna see in a week, your MetaTrader and your PNL is gonna look intentional. Right? You don't want to have these trades, because you know what happened to me a lot also when I was learning. I was getting fed all of this information about risk reward and everything. I'll be having so many trades go into profit, like these really nice trades, and then like eventually stop me out. But you just got to get comfortable with understanding one thing, that the market is fractal. Correct? So if you can get to have a trade go into profit, see if that same system can allow you a tighter stop loss, so at least you can capitalize like, you know, 1 or 2%, because at the end of the day, that's what you're focusing on. You're not focusing on money, you're focusing on percent. Money doesn't even exist. You know, when you start trading money, like think about these people who are like super wealthy, and when they trade, they need to go buy a market maker, and they put like $50 million into a position, right? You're not thinking of $50 million. For somebody, you're like, what? This guy put $50 million, that's generational wealth. Like, I would just take this and like, you know, my whole family, etc., etc. But you see, money is just a tool. Like, it doesn't mean anything. You gotta focus on your percentage gains. This is where the real game is played. And if you focus on the money, you're never gonna be able to make the percentage gains. So just focus on like, you know, 1 or 2% a day is enough. I know for some people now you're thinking, oh, but my account size is too small. What's 1% of this amount? You know, that's nothing. I got to pay my bills and everything. Then I think you got to like change your perspective and actually start falling in love with the process than chasing the outcome. Because then, you know, at that point, I think you're going to find it very difficult. Man, I traded like a $500 or $1,000 account for my full first year. Some people here losing 12,000 pounds. I don't even know how. I traded like $500 or like around a thousand for the whole of my first year. because you just gotta love the game. And it will come. And when it comes, it's gonna be exponential. It's gonna feel like it happening pretty fast and overnight, but don't be surprised when it happens. How much you risk on 500? 1 to 5%. But 5% was rare. Actually, for me, it was more like as low as it could be, because I was using a bigger what was I doing? Yeah, I was trying to get as low as it could be between, let's say, a 1 or 2. That's a good zone for buyers here. I'm waiting to see maybe a potential sell idea if price can come down and then retest these lows, maybe like pull up and play within this area for a bit and then take it down. We also got a clean range, a little clean range on the 1 minute. 5 minute also looking pretty decent here by like 63 pips down. Y'all be aware of the numbers this afternoon? What do we got? Core retail sales. Oh, okay. So 8:30 for New York session, we got core retail sales. Oh, and Trump is speaking today as well at 8:30. Holy, Trump is speaking 30 minutes into New York Open. Fed Chairman Designate Warsh testifies. Also got that at 10 a.m. That's going to be 2 hours into New York. Yeah, we're going to have some fireworks today. Man. Oh, how's New York going to be? Maybe we're going to sneak away with New York with something, you know? Like a quick move before. But we'll see. We'll see. It looks like it's going to be very, very choppy. Victor, do you know how big corporations get into positions? Gradually, they get into positions, not all at once. And they're using the macro plays to their advantage, because remember, you know, big corporations, they're liaising with politicians. Politicians are governing the way you're gonna see reality unfold. You know, sometimes you're gonna see a riot, you might think it's random. It's not random. Sometimes some of these things are orchestrated. Sometimes you're gonna see, I don't know, some manipulation happening somewhere with fuel prices, for example. You know, these things are not random, so they're gonna be rubbing shoulders with each other, because, you know, when push comes to shove and a country is facing some kind of a economic turmoil, they're gonna seek to these private companies for helps and loans, etc. That's why Goldman Sachs, they got such a good relationship with the US government as well, and you know, they're working together, man. They're working together. So that's why they're gonna take time to get into their positions, because they're very big positions, but they're able to control the macro, which is more of like a line like this, right? Which is based off of time. Because since they're liaising together, they're going to be able to make this money in time. That's how they operate. And this is something that the system is really good at understanding, is the value of time and how that makes this all work. All right? Because, you know, it's impossible to do everything you're going to do all in one day, right? At that level as well. And you know, it's the same concepts we're going to use even at a lower level, to just understand that value of time. Switching to one because all the years I have been doing 1 to 2. Can't see profitability. So look at your data and see how many of those trades you're looking for 1 to 2. Now you have data. So, you know, it's not a waste. You got to look at that data and see how often does it hit a 1 to 1. So now you're going to get like some kind of a good idea what your win rate is. And then you got to see like whether you need to maybe reduce the amount of trades that you take or keep it at the same level or maybe even increase. Then you got to see what your win rate is. And then you got to couple that with your risk. Like what's your risk? Do you actually lose 1 when you're looking for a 1 to 1? Or can you reduce to maybe like a 0.5? These are like super important questions. And when is a company when they can dump billions in and out in seconds? It create if you do that, then it's gonna create you slippage. Remember, Elon Musk doesn't need Bitcoin to go to a 1 to 100 like a lot of these brokey mentality. They're looking for 1 to 100, 1 to 1000. Man, when you're trading that sum of money, even a 0.5 risk to reward is something worth looking at. You know? They're going to have maybe some slippages or something like that, but they just need these incremental moves. They're going to make a lot of money from them. You know, when you're coming from a point of scarcity and lack, you're going to need the 1 to 1000. That's why people are looking for 1 to 10 rewards. But you see, trading was never built for the poor. You know, that's why that doesn't even really exist. It was never designed for the poor. Like a 1 to 10, a 1 to 100, a 1 to 200. Like these are like black swan events, right? And even then, you still have to have a substantial amount of investment into it. All these people you see got rich on Bitcoin, got rich on freaking GameStop. Even the guy from GameStop was kind of like a one of us kind of guy. Yeah, Roaring Kitty, one of us. The guy invested, I think, like $50,000 in that position. You know what I mean? Like you gotta have money to make money. That's why I'm saying just focus on the skill. There's a lot of avenues to get money that are a lot easier than looking for a risk to reward. You can get funded, you know, as one option, which is actually, I think, the greatest option is just to get funded. And then start scaling it up from there from a personal account. Then you're able to risk a little bit more fluidly. Like maximum risk, let's say like about 5%, coupling with your data, how much you win, how much you lose. That 5% can increase quite a lot, like when you're scaling an account. But you got to have that data to see how that's going to look. It takes money to make money. You cannot penny pinch. No penny pincher has ever been a millionaire. Except one guy. I know a guy who penny pinched. He lives in Dubai now. But he saved like 90 or like, what is that? 80 to 90% of his salary. A lot of you can't even do that. That's impossible. This one guy, he saved 80 to 90% of his salary. And now he's retired. I think he's, what is it, like 35, 40. Now he's retired and lives in Dubai. But imagine the kind of a lifestyle that you're going to live, saving 80, 90% of your salary for years. That even takes commitment. Even that puts him in a realm of 1%ers who are able to do what the usual people will not be able to do. Who's he? We can try Google him right now. Let me see. That's a millionaire. 40-year-old. Oh, nice. Yeah, you see this? 40-year-old saved up to 90% of his pay and retired with 3.5 million last year. He left the US for Dubai and is much happier. That's real frugal. It's this guy right here. Let's see if we can pull up a picture. See, man's chilling now. But even he did something incredible. Jamal Robinson retired at 39 with 3.5 million nest egg. Now he's living on 185k a year in Dubai. It lasts him about 16 years at that spending rate. Gonna be retired for the next 16 years. Remember guys, leave a like on the video. If you gotta find some value here, would appreciate it. That's not enough to live on unless most of it went to investments. Yeah, I mean, he also picked a country. Well, why go to Dubai, you know? If he goes to I don't know, a different country, you're gonna extend that times 2, maybe times 3. If he truly just wanted to live off of that. Chat, if y'all could live in any country, well, what country would you live in? Right in the chat. Have you ever thought about that? What country would you live in? Would you stay in your country? What would be a sick country? Bali. To Wakanda. Yeah, Wakanda's always nice. Uzbekistan. Yeah, Uzbekistan, they got some pretty nice women over there. I remember I was trying to get with this one girl from Uzbekistan in uni. I think that's where they get, you know, like for these pageants and stuff. That's where they go usually to get these women. They go to like these rural Russian villages or, you know, Uzbekistan, like these type of countries. I'm here, Philippines. I will not live here. Philippines looks pretty fun. On YouTube. The Water Festival, I think. It's in Philippines. It's trying to break out here. We're trying to move up here. It seems we're trying to break some accumulation. This can be a shotgun on the 5. Yeah, we got about like 50 seconds as well. Looks like the candle might be trying to rush. But we're seeing some strong buying pressure over here. It's already breaking out. Yeah, it looks like it's rushing for the shotgun above. This is gonna be about we got how long? 15 minutes until the new hourly open. Oh, you're gonna leave the UK. I'd love to go to Poland. To be fair, holiday there and it's a great country. Well, all the Polish people I've met have been pretty decent. In my experiences. I got a Polish friend. Her name is Ula something complicated. And it's similar to Russian, like it sounds similar, the language. Some words are actually similar. I'm Poland, brother. Привет. Как дела? До свидания. Да, я говорю русский. Ты понимаешь, что я говорю или нет? Понимаешь мой язык или не понимаешь? Я сама не понимаю. We got a candlestick about to close in 3 minutes. Oh, да, понимаешь? Хорошо. Очень хорошо. Я люблю тебя. Я очень люблю русский. Я очень люблю русские женщины. Yeah, let's see. This thing is going to look to close here soon. Hopefully, it's gonna give us some kind of an entry. I see the breakouts are playing out beautifully, though. You see, right now it is in distribution phase from here. Break above, and then it's moving up bullish. It's already at like 33 pips. This is point A, distribution, right? And the whole idea here is that price is looking to fill this range. So it's coming out of here, point A, TFX confirmation, looking to fill this range. Remember, the market's abundant of opportunities, chat. Don't worry about like, okay, we haven't taken the buy down here. We haven't taken the buy here. The market is abundant. That's a main thing that I wanna show you guys is like, you don't gotta feel like you're rushing. You know, we're gonna catch it. Don't worry, we're gonna catch it. Let it do its thing. Let it do its thing. We're gonna see it. Because it's not a matter of catching this. This is gonna pay you, okay, you know, gonna pay you for today. Well, what about for tomorrow and the week and the year up ahead and the years up ahead? You know, like this is completely insignificant. Whether I'm gonna catch this or I'm not gonna catch this. It's that mental model that will keep you going. What is this? Buy. Nice. One more pip. Oh, it looks to definitely hit it. Look at the volume here. We got aggression at 1.8 mil. Remember, smash that like button, chat, support the channel. How is the distribution after I move? If it moves up after ranging? I think you answered your own question. Because distribution is exactly this. It's distributing the orders. This is a range. This consolidation, distribution. So, yeah, I mean, that's how you're going to get paid. This is how people get paid. It's like when price going to move in a certain direction like this. So it's paying these players out here. Remember what we said, like it likes to come back to retest entries? These are entries. Even retest a couple of times. This was the high volume zone. It's like a zone, right? It's not like super precise. It's kind of like a zone. It came to retest the zone where like orders were previously from this move. That was a distribution as well. You see these legs. 90% of the time the market is consolidating. 10% of the time it's distributing. So you see like it's going to do this and then it's going to play distribute and then it's going to come do this and then it's going to play distribute. So you got to see like what part of the cycle are you in, right? And this idea in itself is also a fractal idea because that could be happening on the higher time frame as well. Like on higher time frames, depending on how you're looking at the market, it could still be in an accumulation phase. There's 1,000 ways to look at the market. That's why it's quite important to be willing and able to always learn. So you don't like put yourself in a box of this is the only way. But you see it's coming up here. Remember what we spoke about, I think it was yesterday's stream, point A's and point B's. Look what's happening now. You see we're taking it from our understanding here from all the way from what we see happening here on the LTF and then even bringing that over here because we don't remain ignorant. You know, only gonna have like you can't. Well, what's the saying? Or I forgot the saying, but you can't be like a fish in a bowl. This is like being in a fish in a bowl, right? Like it's okay. You can get away with like your moves and keep it simple and still understand it here on the LTF, but it definitely does pay to understand there's a bigger world out there. And when you're gonna understand there's a bigger world out there, you're gonna understand like a bit more of the opportunities that there are, of like how price can potentially run, potential targets. You know, I think this makes sense. So it'll kind of help you a lot in terms of runners. This kind of helps you more in refinement and just getting stuck in. And then that's going to help a lot in runners. But let's see. This candle is a very nice retracement, a long overdue retracement, because sellers have been in control the whole time. You see it perfectly lines up. Look at that blue over there. Just look and see how intentional the market is. You see when we come look at that blue, this is London Open. London Open volume. So you see the probability that this candle would have been that blue candle is higher because this is happening at a high probability area. Right? I'm not here to tell you this is going to happen 100% of the time, but you're giving yourself like a high probability area. Just the same way when you execute on a trade, it's a high probability area where you're going to expect like some kind of a reaction, a preferable reaction, you know. You see, it's market is very, very intentional. Yeah, so this is gonna have to set up here again. It might be looking to come back to test these previous buyers here. How many pip range TP is advisable for TFX concepts? Doesn't really need a range, because if you're taking it off the break, like the accumulation break, those levels are meant to be disrespected. You see, that's why we were doing this before breaking above this resistance. It was just kind of loading up to get through it. So what I typically focus is like percentage, but if you're taking based off like a shotgun play, then most of the time just look and see if it's like a decent amount of room. So in 2025 it used to, or 2024, 2025 it used to be 10 pips, at least like a 10 pip range, but nowadays you're easily gonna get like 20 plus pips. So just as long as it's like appetizing enough for the move, you know, like this one here still has around 37 pips. So if you want like a hard number, maybe I would say like 20 plus. would be really good. Smash that like button. Now we got this next resistance here. I think like what's gonna happen, a candle gonna try and close above it and then try and move up towards like 48.15. Distribution here means a move after the consolidation. What concept do I use? TFX concepts and my own concepts. Generally, distribution means consolidation in a downtrend. Wait, you're gonna mix up some terms here. How are you gonna consolidate in a downtrend? Before moving down, an accumulation is the opposite. Yeah, that sounds a bit confusing. But anyway, like price is coming down here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you mean. Simply put, accumulation distribution, right? This is how it is, even in the real world. Usually accumulate something and then you distribute it later. Like in Ramadan, or I think during Ramadan, is it like they're gonna accumulate food and then distribute to the less fortunate? Accumulate, distribute, accumulate, distribute. So right now we're in a phase of correction because we've already distributed here. Now it's like a pullback. It's correct the phase back into the area where there's a lot of buying. This time I think it might go a bit deeper though, but you know, we can always anticipate some reaction, but I feel like it's already been paying out here quite a bit, especially from down here. But we gotta wait and see. It's trying to like correct some of this range. It's holding that nice SMA. Nice little 8 SMA support in there as well. About to get the new hourly open. This is the problem with trading. You see, when you're going to be learning a lot, you're sometimes going to have this paradox where, you know, analysis paralysis. Especially when people start learning how trending markets operate. Because usually when you're doing from the daily, you're doing a higher to lower time frame analysis. It can get confusing because the daily can be bullish, 30-minute can be bearish, 1 minute can be ranging, you know. So the more you know, sometimes it's gonna like confuse you. Just keep it simple. That's what TFX concepts is. That's why sometimes actually you can just pop onto the chart on the 1 minute. If you just come onto the chart, usually most of the time when I'm trading like a pre-session, I just focus on I just focus on the 1 minute. I just see what the daily is trending. If we're moving up, down here by the percentage gains, and then trade a base off the 1 minute. I don't even need to look at the higher time frame because come on, man, like if price is up 0.60%, even if you go on the higher time frame, the daily is moving up. So you just get stuck in one minute quickly with that directional bias. So it's kind of still retesting that area here. I got a new 5-minute open. Come on, guys, smash that like button, support the channel. I think so far the tips and tricks we've given are pretty insightful. This is some So tips and tricks. All right, perfect. So we just got an hourly support that's been formed. We're gonna see now if this hourly here is gonna be a bearish continuation or a bullish continuation. Because we broke below this area here. If it starts accumulating below this zone, it could show like a reversal potential. But if we respect it, we might see that continuation, like a break and a retest. I'll be right back, guys. All right, we're back. Let's see. There's a small play here. Potential buy and potential sell. It's on the 1 minute. Is it already breaking? Could be a nice sell confirmation. Here, if we get like this as a liquidity grab on the 1 minute to re-break the lows, could be a potential move. That'll be the flip of the candle. And basically, I think what that's going to be is, it's going to be the continuation of the overall bearish momentum that we're seeing. It's got a little clean range on the downside too. Was this new 5 minute candle open? Good thing is overall the daily's been bearish. It's down right now 0.50%, trending bearish. If it starts moving down, we're going to look to maybe correct this move. Yeah, I mean, I'm already in, but I think I'm going to get stopped. Yeah, got stopped over here. think maybe because this candle here doesn't have a top wick yet. But it is trying to still break out. Let's see, we're trading at negative 250. Let's see on spot gold, do we have a top wick? Spot gold has a top wick on that 5 minute. Should have given the re-entry. Damn, I should have given the re-entry. Fucking hell, I should have given the re-entry. Oh my days. That would have been the push right here. Oh man, that was beautiful too. About like 45 pips. Should have given that re-entry. Oh man. Now it's coming down to fill this next range. It's coming down to fill this next area over here. Candlestick's gonna close and then it's gonna look to fill that 53 pip range. Sheesh. That was a bumper cloud right there.
Bomber cloud.
Quick scalp done, bro. Oh, nice. Man. I was thinking about getting back in. I don't know why I hesitated. Why did I hesitate? Should have taken it. Got about like 40 pips. 40 more pips to the downside. Dollars flying. That's good. Nice. What do you call it? Nice correlation, negative correlation. Hey, but congratulations if you executed. That's all you.
Beautiful.
Very well done.
Beautiful.
That's all you. Remember, there's no we in trading. When I lose money, I lose money. When I make money, I make money. When you lose money, you lose money. When you make money, you make money. There's no real we in trading. So, you know, very well done. Beautiful. No, thinking about a re-entry potentially. See how price comes towards 47.96, then decide. Because it's distributed from basically from here. This was the idea, right? So that's just a version of this right over there. And that's the distribution down, just the same as that was the distribution up. Yo, order flow looking pretty good. Currently like 1 million. I'm thinking re-entry after a retest of the same entry. It may go back up to retest that zone, but I think that zone's kind of protected because now price is trading underneath psychological 4800. We're right below 4800 here. So I don't know if we're gonna be able to push above. We're gonna see. Hourly candle is still fresh. This hourly has just had one move so far, one confirmation. Why didn't I take? Because I took the first position, but I think I wanted it to be a bit less, a little bit more of like an easy play. I think that's why I did not retake it. I should have retaken it. They got like a small lapse of judgment there. Because so far these plays have been playing out really, really nice, right? So I was like, I want an easy one. Oh, it's too easy though. I mean, yeah, anyway. We still got range here. Beautiful retest on the 4800 mark though. Beautiful. 2% secured, baby. Let's go. Told you, chat. Abundance. It's an ocean. I'm a fisherman. The ocean will provide for me. 1 or 2 fish a day. Call it a day. Go home to the family. Don't worry. You missed this. You missed this catch over here. We caught the next fish down here. That's it. There was still time for our fishing. You know, we got like 40 pips over there. Simple. Would have been nice to catch this one though. All the way from up over here. Man, that one played out beautifully. TFX concept. So you see we got that breakout. And then we got the shotgun play. So this was a shotgun entry with confluence of 4800. So you see how I'm going to make like sense of the confluence sometimes? But like also with the auto flow. Seller aggression is quite strong. 4800. Low probability you even retest that confirmation zone in this scenario. Clean range down towards 4793. Simple. And that's the move right here. I think I secured around 20 pips. Abundance. Why do you not get more views, man? I don't know. The universe has maybe not found me worthy of the views yet. So I must keep putting in the work. Nothing I can do about that. It's up to the holy, what do you call it? Holy algorithm. YouTube is all about algorithms, you know? So when the algorithm says that it's time, it's time. I had this one time, for me it was crazy to see because I had this one reel, which is not a reel of me, but it was a reel that I made, which hit like 40 million views. I was like, holy. So you're telling me if the algo wants this, it can just give it to me? Insane. You know the amount of power that these corporations have? YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Man, they got like a lot of power. They kind of decide on what you think, what you see. To some extent, what kind of a person you're gonna be. Hey, got a lot of influence. Let us do this. Boom, boom, boom. There's shotgun play. That was a consolidation breakout. Sell gold. Soon. So 1 minute. Nice. Up here, 43% on the month. Awesome. I just gotta keep a cool head and keep doing what we do. That's it. You know, if we wanted to, realistically, we could have already taken the trade in the first 9 minutes of the stream, but you know, what fun would that be? And also just to show you that it's okay to be patient. TFX concepts, man, the trade is literally always going to be right around the corner. It's okay to be patient. It's an ocean, you know, like even if you're going to miss on this move, just be okay with waiting. You know, some people just can't wait. That's why you're going to see a lot of the time on these live streams when you're going to take the trade already like 80% or 70% of the people leave because it's just waiting is just not the thing. They just need that extra stimulation all the time. But you see, that's not how trading works. Like if you truly want to be successful in this, you first of all have to fully understand how your entry models operate, how often that they show themselves. And then that will already give you that patience that you need. So for us, we're always looking like an hourly candle. So you see this hourly candle over here. It's done about two trades already. 2 trades out of a potential 3 trades. And it's still quite early in the hourly, so it could even do about 4 if it wanted to. Now as well, at the same time, we know that price is going to move from here. You got point A down towards point B, which is right over there. Do you use your stop loss always 5 pips? No, like when I'm trying to be very risk averse, I'm going to do like 5 pips. I think that's why, you know, I got stopped out. It was too tight of a stop on the first one. I put like 5 pips. I really just didn't want to risk a lot on it. Like 5 pips. Even if I did 10, it would have survived. Because, you know, we're pretty refined with our approach to the market. It's like very refined. Usually it shouldn't give us a hard time because we're stepping out of the randomness. You know, we're only coming in when it's time to come in. Let's see. Still in. You miss. What did you do? You mismanaged. Oh, you closed it. Got too excited. All you gotta do is wait a few seconds. Just look at percentage gains all the time. I don't know if that's what you're gonna be looking at, but you gotta look at that. So when you hit that percentage gain, you're gonna close. I actually like futures trading, you know, because at least now I don't have to pay commissions. Should have done this sooner, actually. I was paying commissions for such a long time. I gotta keep everything now. So if those of you who want to trade futures, and you want to get a broker, you can use the broker I'm using. They're pretty good. They allow you to trade CFDs too if you still want to trade CFDs. So you can do it all in one. Especially if your country allows you access to meta quotes. Let's say, hello Vic, I love your trading. I was struggling and taking trades with small lots, and next losing trades, I end up losing a weak profit. So your strat, small TP, nice lot size. I want you to just think of percent. Don't think small TP, nice lot size. Don't think like that. Then I started to have a winning days. Awesome, only hold. Because you know why? Because a lot of the time people ask me questions like, bro, how are you able to make that much money, right? With like sudden moves like this. It's because it's only percentage gains, and as your account is growing, then your monetary gain will naturally grow with it. So there's no point thinking you're only making like, let's say 20 bucks. and that's 1%. Think about that 1% potentially being even $10,000 one day. Wow, but that's a quick V-shaped reversal, because I think the market paid out these traders too easily. That's why it's acting this aggressively, in my opinion. It did give it to us like way too easy today. Like there's no shock in the water. Like this played out, bomber clot, this played out, bomber clot, this played out, bomber clot. Like there's literally no shock in the water today. So I think now it's kind of getting aggressive. Like, hey, hold up. This is not the business model here. We're not meant to be making people money. See the way it's rushing like this? This is rushing for the most of the time, like the greedy traders. Sometimes you see people still holding. They get maybe bigger stop losses. They kind of perceive a bit differently, maybe different strategies. So they're gonna have like these trades that are like a once winning trades become then those losing trades. This is psychology of the market. This is why some of you might still be having a hard time. What I'm gonna say is there's a huge difference in trading from being right. A lot of people want to be right, you know. Like a guy commented on my video the other day. He told me whether you made money or not, your entry was too early. I'm like, what? I'm not here to be right. I'm here to make money. What are you talking about? I'm not here to like paint you a pretty picture. I'm here to make money at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, we're all here to make money. We're all here to end the month. 10%, 20%, 50%, whatever it is, that's the goal. The goal is not to have like this beautiful, perfect textbook setup. Like, man, that's all like stuff that you're only going to do to make yourself feel good. Because when other people are busy making money, then you're too focused on the right way to trade. There's no right way to trade. There's no right way to trade. I knew a guy who could make money for like 3 months straight. But the problem was when he takes a loss, the losses are really big. However, he managed to do that for a few years, and he's still doing it now. If he fixed that risk management problem, then I think, you know, it could be really good, but he can't, because every strategy has a limit. And some of you might know who I'm talking about, but like every strategy has a limit to how much you can actually still do your strategy and tweak it in a sense that you're going to lose less. So you got to see where the pressure points are with your strat. I think these are questions that I don't know, like people are going to ask themselves seriously, but they're like really important questions to have data on. And we have like a free spreadsheet in the description box that you're going to use to journal your trades. There's so many angles that you want to see when you have, like, let's say TFX concepts. I like to say that you got to kind of like put the market in a corner and see all those angles that your strategy can actually realistically get away with. Because everything gonna have a limit. And it takes work, especially if you're doing it yourself. It's gonna take you some time to figure that out. But what I like to say is have a solid foundation first as you're building the house, right? Whatever that foundation, make sure it's like a solid foundation. Don't go off concepts which are loose-ended. Like, you know, for me, I think ICT is very loose-ended because they're gonna assume a lot of things with imbalances and the boogeyman and all of these things. So you got a lot of loose ends over there. So you got to see like what you can actually see on the chart. For me personally, I see support, resistance. I see levels like this, very clean cut. I see areas that price went through and mirroring. And I know the market likes to mirror itself a lot. Correct? It loves to mirror itself. So, you know, these are like some key foundational concepts. I know accumulation distribution exists in the market and in business world in general. Supply and demand exists in the business world in general. We can see with what's happening with oil in the Strait of Hormuz. You know, these are foundational concepts. When you start talking to me about these fugazi things, I don't know, imbalance, the ICT concept style, it can work for you, but just be careful, right? Just be careful. You want to move correct. So everything we do here as TFX concepts, it's also reflective of how the real world operates. And you know, in trading, it's the real world and human psychology. It's not who can sound the smartest. And we're going to use like some beautiful order flow over here to see where majority of those orders are flowing as well. So we're kind of more in line with the, you know, psychology of traders here. Because for so far, we've been seeing a lot of like seller aggression in the market. We only had this one bullish candle because that's the London Open. But we're still overall, as you can see, bearish. Even if you look at the daily percent. It's a pretty good day for sells. No Fugazi, no Fugazi. Price is moving down. That means people are selling. See, look at the daily here. Daily's moving down. But if you want to get a buy, I think the next buy idea is going to be above 48.09. That's when the next buy idea is going to be. $48.09. If we come up here, we're gonna have like a range of 37 pips. $37. Unless we set up something here on the 1 minute time frame for an early buy. Or early buy, but it's gonna be still a bit risky because overall selling aggression here. Even though the hourly candle is bullish, you overall have a lot of selling aggression. That's why I actually think this was a fake out right here. So you know, the whole idea behind this move was this to be the fake out because we could see there was a lot of like selling aggression. So no buy confirmation here, fake out, liquidity grab for this. So for the guy who was speaking about liquidity grab in the chat, what do you call this then? The guy who doesn't believe liquidity grabs, what do we call this? You know, that I think that paints the beautiful picture of what we've been talking about since the beginning of the stream over here. I don't know who you've been listening to, but man, I think whoever that is I don't know. But it's, you know, that whatever happened up there for the sell is the same thing that happened over here for the buy. It just looks, it's same but different, right? But that's the grab right here, how it spiked and quickly reversed to break the high. The same thing that happened here. Inverted. It usually is gonna be like a quick and then like a quick reversal, right? It's like a spike and then a quick reversal. See that spike and then a quick reversal. Very intentional, the market. How else you also explain when price moves up like this so quickly? Why does it move up like this so quickly? Leave a like on the stream, guys. Would appreciate it. Drop a like for the free knowledge. Yeah, I mean, it's good to be cynical about the market, my friend. Like, it's good to believe liquidity grabs exist because if you don't, then yeah, it's the same guy who's going to trade without a stop loss, like the guy for FTX. Sam Bankman-Fried. He said the worst strategy is the one that's going to use a stop loss. And look at what happened to him. Be very cynical about the market. The market is this thing where it's the moment you get too comfortable, you get very cocky, you start saying things like that, is the moment it's planning on catching you. It's when you're gonna step out of the fire, basically. So you gotta think like, let's say you're camping, right? So let's say we're over here and we're camping and we got like a fire pit in the middle and we're all kind of like sitting around the fire. right? So this fire is going to create us a radius. Let's say about like 30 foot. 30-foot radius. You know, we're all sitting here. We're comfortable telling stories. And then you're going to have this one guy who says something crazy, and he's going to go and adventure. He's going to go and adventure the radius like this, thinking, you know, he's figured something out. What's going to happen to him? A predator's going to get him. A predator's going to be the market. The market's going to get him. You know, because you've stepped out of the safety zone. Now, with all these ideas of liquidity grabs don't exist, you know, all these ideas that you're going to have, you're going to step away from where we like to call that risk management zone. This is where we're going to manage our risk. So we got to be comfortable sitting here. You know, we got to sit here. There's going to be like our 4% drawdown in the day. We don't want to step outside of this. We got to step outside of this. We're going to get eaten by the predator. Statistically speaking, I think you're going to be a higher percent if you're going to step outside of that you're going to lose. Can you comment on the news? Will it have a significant impact on gold or Bitcoin? Yeah, it should. The New York session today is going to be like a make or break. We might either see it range a lot, or we're going to be able to like capitalize off these really like sporadic movements, like these really fast moves into profit. So we're going to wait and see. Right now I see gold is already broken into a range. We have a support over here. We got a resistance over here. And this is the range. Correct? This is a range. We got about like 251 pips. That's what it's waiting for, I think, for New York. But as long as it keeps swinging like this, we should be good. So these are the swings we're talking about here. Here. Yes, sir, man. This is the way we're gonna chill here. Fire. Da, 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 da. Hey guys, gonna say maybe one of these guys is gonna say something crazy and then go out there. The trick in this game is longevity. You could have such a good run and give it all back in a day. I think there's this guy's story. What's his name? Trader Tom. I think his name is Trader Tom. Trader Tom got a story like that where he had like an amazing year, and then towards the end of the year, during Christmas time, he gave it all back. So I think, you know, price is going to create maybe some form of a resistance here and then come down. Ideally would be the case. You're going to see like some kind of a candle close like resistance and then start to break these lows. And then you got like a very nice clean range here again to correct for price to come down. So we're gonna see if that's gonna happen. I would still be skeptical about the buys because I feel like it could be a liquidity grab. The hourly is not giving too much confidence as well. I might see this once it starts breaking below like 47.84 over there. Price is gonna come down. Build this range. Like 90 pips. So let's see who's stepping out the fire. Who's stepping out the fire? Because you're still in the fire here. I'm still in the fire. I'm up about, let's see, for the day. I'm up about 1.76%. I'm not stepping out the fire. Not now, at least. I'm gonna enjoy this fire. I'm gonna enjoy this warmth. You know, that 10% of light surrounded by the 90% of darkness in the night. That's where I'm gonna be until the next session. You know, until the predators get tired, possibly, and say, man, no one's stepping out the fire over here, so I'm gonna go somewhere else. Gonna go invade another campsite. This is a TFX camp. You know, in and out. But there's a position over here for those brave. Below 47.84. The price is gonna come down, you know, got a maybe like a 90 pip range. I hope to catch some. I'm going to sell. All right, Mr. Rashid. I'll tell your wife you love her. Godspeed. The village awaits you with your earnings. Yeah, but we're gonna have like a sell over here. And we're looking forward to the stories that will tell us of the great darkness. Because you know, it's kind of like going into darkness. So think about it like this. Candlestick is the bonfire. And this area is actually the darkness. Like literally, the void. That's where you gotta see like the probability. That's where probabilities. That's the risk on area right over here. And just like a fisherman would go into the ocean, you're gonna dip himself into the void. He doesn't know if he's really gonna come up with anything, you know. Sometimes he's gonna come up with a loss. Sometimes he's gonna come up with nothing when he comes back for air. It's the same thing as in trading. I think if you got like a very good imagination, then I think, you know, trading can be something very special for you. But let's see. We got down negative 777k right now. A lot of seller aggression. Would still be good to see us sell. Maybe even a liquidity grab confluence above this area here. Then come down. I just don't trust the buys at this moment. We'll see what this truly is, whether it's just rejection spikes being held up by the SMAs to move up, or it's like a false support, creating liquidity underneath to push down heavy. Because see, right now, let's go back on our order flow. Right now, we're seeing a lot more sellers. We have the previous day value area low as a potential psychological resistance. Point of control right over here. Current nodes are all bearish. So as price is moving up, this is actually seeming like some kind of an absorption play potentially. Because price is trying to move up, but we're still remaining overall bearish. So we're going to see what happens. I think this is just quite an important zone for the buyers. They're going to take control of this area. They have to break above 4809. Let's see. Can you come down? And it's also got the psychological support levels here, the SMAs to get through, which can make it a bit difficult. Have some reactions. I think the best case scenario is it pauses for a bit whilst the SMAs catch up. Get over this line. But if you find that sometimes the SMAs are creating you some analysis paralysis, you could just ignore them. Because they are just confluence. They got it on the 15 minute, they got the 5 minute right there. 15 above the 15, above the 30. The only one that we might be breaking is the 1 minute. See a situation like this? Look at how beautiful this is. We got the SMA crossover here. Beautiful confluence SMA crossover in that one. On the 1 minute, we also had the 5 minute SMA now favoring confluence. See as price was breaking below there. Then we expect like volume, right? Then we expect volume plays. It's breaking the highs. It's starting to. Not yet. Wait, I think it's about to. Buyers are trying to take control slowly. See, they brought down the selling aggression slightly a bit. Although still wouldn't trust it. Okay, now it seems that spot gold also broke. Still would not trust it. I feel like seller aggression can step in at any moment. Right now. Any moment. I'll personally just let this go. I would wait for it to convince me if I was looking for a buy to at least get above like that 48.09. See seller aggression slightly increasing now. They're thinking of trapping them. The buyers right here. Let's see. You know, that's why we got to ask ourselves before getting into a trade. Are you okay with taking a loss? If you're not okay with taking a loss on that idea, don't take it. Simple. All right, looks like they came forward. Yeah, looks like it did end up panning out for the buyers here. So you see, if you're not okay with taking that loss, you shouldn't have taken the trade. See? But you know, in this scenario, at the same time, you have to tell yourself, I'm okay to miss that trade. If you're not okay to take the loss on that trade, you also got to say, I'm okay to miss that trade. It looks like the buyers were able to step in on this one. But you see, that was a point A right here. That was a high confluence zone where the next leg was going to move up. So now we got the distribution again. It's paying out the buyers, the risk takers. So, I don't know, Mr. Rashid, you're looking for a sell here? I don't think... There was no confirmation for a sell. Pretty nice. Well, like about 37. It's not. It's closing above. Pushed quite a bit though, but there's still some room from here to here. Hasn't really pushed like fully through that zone yet. We haven't even seen 65% of the zone get mopped up. So it's still got a little bit of room. Maybe we're gonna see the next candle open and then try and push up again. It's gonna be like 30 pips. Little shotgun play. So, man, what a day this is, bro. Like, literally no shock. Well, it's only like maybe one shock right here for the buys. But yeah, for the most part, it's been playing out all day. Beautiful. So you see this candle here? It's got to confirm momentum to keep going up in this distributed phase by breaking that previous high. It's already up or peaked about 30 pips from the first entry. The second entry is going to come up there. And don't put... Okay, yeah, let's see. Let's just see what the reaction is going to be. It's kind of volatile, isn't it? In it, mate. Still volatile up here. Because this is a point in time where the buyers can really like have a run. They can have like a mini bull run here. Does like, you know, that level. I think it's a good confluence for the early buyers over here. As it broke the highs to get that potential runner towards 48.15. All the Trumps waiting for Trump. All the sharks waiting for Trump. Or he scared them off saying he'll speak later. Make sure you smash that like button, guys. Support the stream. This is going to be a good one. So nice console. Yeah, it needs to get through that wick at least to see continuation. Four-hour closure. Yeah, it looks like interesting even 4-hour fake out potential. Oh, retracement because you know price created a new lower low on the 4-hour time frame here. So give it like that pullback, a little fib pullback to continue bearish. But we'll see. Like right now, what I think truly is happening here is, all right, 30 minutes actually looking good for a move up. I see there was a small 30-minute liquidity grab as well here. That was that range that got filled on the 5-minute that we caught. But it's got a really nice room to move bullish if that's going to be the case today during New York session, most likely. But up until then, we're probably just going to hold here. Resistance, support up until that point. So make sure you all tune into New York session streams as well. We trade the NY Open now. But I'm going to head out here, guys. I appreciate you all tuning in. Please smash that like button. Let's grow this channel. I would appreciate it. I hope you guys learned something here today, and I will see you in New York. Adios.